All right, folks, welcome back to another fantastic episode of Opali Presents Know Your Pros. And today, our guest, the lovely Elisabeth Iñiguez of Lessons by Elisabeth. And Elisabeth offers personalized online guitar and ukulele lessons a la Zoom, a la FaceTime, anywhere your heart desires, there Elisabeth is. And here she is. Thank you for joining us, Elisabeth.
Hey Henry, it's great to be on.
Well, I am stoked to have you on here, and you're here on a medium, I suppose, that is very, very familiar to you on Zoom. You do personalized online guitar and ukulele lessons. So, how was it that you launched this business? Why did you decide to start giving lessons online? How did Lessons by Elisabeth come to be?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I graduated in 2020, which, as we all know, was a very unprecedented year.
Mm.
But I graduated with a theater degree, which I always like to joke is never a great degree to graduate with, but especially during the pandemic was a little rough. So I had all these plans set out in front of me, and I realized, a lot of them weren't going to be able to follow through the way that I thought they were. But I had plans to move out, with some friends after college and just, get out into the world. And I was realizing there wasn't a lot of job opportunities for things that I really wanted to do.
Mm.
And back when I was in high school, I used to give guitar and ukulele lessons on the side just to have a little extra cash, hang out with friends and go to the mall or whatever. And so I thought, hey, I absolutely loved teaching guitar. Why not do it again and make it all online so that way I can reach as many people as possible?
Yeah, I mean, it's a service that is certainly time consuming if you're somebody who travels to go do that, or if you go visit somebody, in another space to go to, their guitar or, their piano or something like that. And we're not talking about pianos here. We're talking about guitars and ukuleles. But how have you found that's worked out? I mean, in this industry, my question is always like, why did you get into this space? So, with you, give me some idea of like how you found that format to work. Has that been really good for you? Has that been something that people have loved?
Yeah, I've had students stay on for almost 3 years now, which is just about as long as I've been running my business, which is fantastic. I love getting to have students that long to really see their growth. But when it comes to sort of the why music and why teaching guitar and ukulele, it's something I love. I've been playing guitar for just about 14 years now and coming up on 11 for ukulele. So it's something I've been doing for quite a long time. But I just absolutely am super passionate about music, obviously getting a degree in theater, but also just getting to be able to teach people and people of all ages. I've had students as young as 7 to people who are, mid 60s and they're about to retire and they want to pick up a new hobby. So whether, they're super young or maybe people who are wanting to just learn some new interest, I'm open to teach, everybody.
I love that. I mean, like, yeah, every week when I listen to you ask, for referrals in our BNI chapter that we're both a part of, there's really no age limit on that. And we talked about my third question just a minute ago, which is really like, why should somebody call you versus that next person giving, music lessons in some capacity? What is it really that kind of makes you unique? And we have a small answer to that, but knowing you, I'd love to hear just your true take on how the difference is at Lessons by Elisabeth.
Yeah, I would definitely say it's an industry that isn't super, filled with other people, especially doing online lessons. Like I said, I really prioritize that. One, because at the time that everything started up, it was a necessity, but now it's just more of a comfort. I mean, people can do it from their iPads, their laptops, their phones, whether they're on vacation or they're at home, and it only takes, 30 minutes or an hour to do. But I think it's definitely something that is super important to me to one, make sure things are fun. When I learned music, I had a blast with it. I think it was something that just came naturally to me. And so obviously when you love something, you want everyone else to love it as well. So I always make sure that my students are having a fun time. And I think the big change in that is having personalized lessons. A lot of times, if you want to try to follow along to a book or even try to watch videos online and sort of piece it together yourself, there's a lot that you can't figure out unless you have someone there who's able to answer your questions or maybe correct your form, or you want to say, hey, I'm not really interested in learning, ode to joy like they're trying to teach me in this book. I want to learn some classic like 80s rock ballads, and it's stuff like that that I love getting to do because one, I get to be introduced to a lot more music through all my students, which is super fun, but being able to just make sure that they're learning what they want to learn. A lot of my students, if any at all really, they're not going on to play, Carnegie Hall or anything. This isn't something that's like, is for college or everything, but it's something that's really fun and especially for, people who are in elementary, junior high, and high school. It's a great way to keep their brain going. And especially my adult, it's a nice just sort of pastime to have something else on your book that isn't maybe just work or taking care of the family or trying to make sure everything else is running. It's just a nice little me time to have.
Right. And I mean, you're available too. You can just dial Elizabeth up and, really get her right there on the other side of the phone, the tablet, the computer, wherever you kind of want. When you're running into an issue with learning something or want to get in there and start something new that you haven't really taken up before. And, the personality that you've got, Elizabeth, and the way in which are not only with our chapter, but with our referrals and, anybody else who comes to meet you. I mean, it's just so easy to learn with you and feel, comfortable with who's on the other side of the screen. I mean, I can't say that enough.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Yeah, I think definitely since this is sort of how things were transitioning at that point anyway, I think it was definitely important to, use something that everyone was used to. And at this point, everyone's very well versed in Zoom. So a lot of my lessons just take place over Zoom because it's the platform most people are definitely comfortable with. But yeah, I mean, I've always been told that when I told my parents I was going for a theater degree, they definitely weren't shocked by any means. I've always
Right.
sort of had this personality. And so, but yeah, thank you. That means a lot. I appreciate that.
Of course, of course. And before we wrap this up, I do want to mention to our viewers out there some of the specials that you have going on for the coming summer months. You've also got packages and programs on your website. Tell our viewers a little bit about, number one, what you offer, but also where they can find you.
Yeah, absolutely. So coming up during the summer, I know one of the things that definitely I wanted to make sure I prioritize for students or anyone who's maybe looking to learn is being able to just maybe pick something up during the summertime. We're out of school, it makes things a lot easier to find extra 30 minutes, hour and a half to work on things. So I'm going to be doing bundle sets, whether it's 6 lessons, 12, or 24. That way you can maybe pick up a new school, a new skill during the summer, or if you wanted to, maybe just learn something new just for fun to make sure your brain's still running and going during the summer. So that'll be sort of kicking off at the beginning of April, which is crazy. Years just flying by. But being able to just, bundle those up and be able to work on something new this summer. And then if you want to find me, you could always scan this QR code right up here. But I am Lessons by Elisabeth on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube if you want to watch this mug other places online. And that would be the best way to contact me is probably through text.
Beautiful. Sorry, I'm scanning your QR code here while we're talking. That's awesome. Yeah, folks, Lessons by Elisabeth. Elisabeth Iñiguez, she is based in Pasadena, but because she does her stuff online, she can be found anywhere across the country or even across the world. So if you or somebody that you know are looking for somebody who is looking for online personalized guitar and ukulele lessons, she will play whatever you want, guys. She'll teach you. She'll take you through the process. She is fantastic. She is Elisabeth Iñiguez. Elizabeth, thank you so much for being a guest on Know Your Pros.
Thank you so much. And like I always say, if you want to learn how to pick up an instrument, let's play. Contact Lessons by Elisabeth today.
Know Your Pros.